What if the prayer you whisper right now is the one that tips the scales between life and eternity for a gospel giant? That unsettling thought has hovered over Baton Rouge ever since the 90-year-old evangelist was rushed to the ICU after suffering a cardiac arrest at his home on Father's Day, June 15th. Paramedics restored a heartbeat, and machines have kept him alive ever since. But Jimmy Swaggart has never regained consciousness. By the third dawn, under fluorescent lights, the medical team finally told the family what their eyes already feared. Although the heart now beats without external pumps, oxygen loss during those frantic minutes may have left unseen damage to the brain. Neurologists ordered reflex tests and a second EEG, warning that the next 48 hours will write the first draft of his prognosis. Late Monday, June 23rd, the Christian Post echoed the cold facts. No change, still critical, and death likely near without a miracle. 2 nights later, Wednesday, June 25th at 7:15 p.m. CT, the ministry's Facebook page broke the same quiet news. There is no significant change. The days ahead will surely be difficult. Please continue to uplift Brother Swaggart in your prayers. Early Thursday, June 26th, a follow-up post repeated that plea, adding a gentle request for privacy while encouraging followers to rely on official channels for updates. Inside the ICU, that digital chorus plays softly through a bedside speaker. Frances Swaggart refuses to move far from her husband's side, her fingers tightening around his, and her voice whisper singing the hymns he once thundered from stadium stages. "We trust God, whatever he decides," she tells nurses who try to coax her toward a cafeteria break. Donnie and Gabriel take turns sleeping in hallway chairs, scrolling through decades of memories. The piano after supper, bedtime prayers before crusades, Sunday drives that always ended at a church somewhere. Wednesday night, Donnie faced a packed family worship center and offered neither false optimism nor despair. "This is a time for real faith," he said, "the kind that believes in surrender as much as it believes in miracles. We don't know what tomorrow holds, but we know who holds tomorrow." The sanctuary fell silent. Some wept quietly. Others simply bowed their heads as the weight of an uncertain future collided with 50-plus years of televised certainty. Uncertainty, however, has not dampened devotion. Hashtags like Pray for Swaggart and vintage clips of 1970s altar calls have flooded feeds on X, TikTok, and Facebook Live. All-night prayer chains in Lagos, Manila, and Sao Paulo mirror candlelight vigils outside the Baton Rouge hospital. Ministry insiders whisper unconfirmed that lawyers have already briefed Donnie on succession protocols and that a board vote may loom if his father remains incapacitated. But no decision is official, and the family refuses to discuss governance while life still flickers. These reports remain speculation and should be treated as such. Why does a single hospital room command global attention? Because Jimmy Swaggart's story is stitched into millions of personal testimonies. From 1950s Louisiana tent revivals to 1980s satellite crusades, his fiery sermons and soulful piano made There Is a River and Mercy Rewrote My Life more than music, they became lifelines. By 1987, his weekly telecast reached 3,000 TV stations and 700 radio outlets. Then came the 1988 and 1991 sex scandals that nearly erased it all. He wept, repented, and launched a rebuilding effort that culminated in the Sun Life Broadcasting Network in 2010. Some critics never forgave. Others say his own brokenness helped them believe redemption was possible for anyone. That legacy carries tangible weight. IRS filings show the network brings in well over $100 million annually, funding worldwide missions and a 24/7 broadcast schedule. Detractors ask where those funds will flow if leadership changes. Supporters counter that the ministry is more than a single man. Both camps wait in prayer or in scrutiny for the same scan results now circled in red on an ICU whiteboard. Doctors expect those neurological findings within hours. Best case scenario, a slow reawakening followed by months of rehab. Worst case, minimal brain activity, leaving the family with harrowing choices. Staff have discreetly outlined a palliative care plan just in case, yet even that conversation ends with the same refrain. Still, there is room for a miracle. So the world watches the monitors and refreshes social feeds, caught between hope and heartbreak. Whether the next update announces a miracle of recovery or a gentle homegoing, one truth has already crystallized in the hush of hospital corridors and the roar of shared memories. Jimmy Swaggart's loudest sermon may be the one he is preaching right now, wordless, helpless, but echoing faith that surrenders and still believes. If his eyes open, the story will ring with grateful applause. If they close forever, the message will survive in hymns, videotapes, and changed lives. Which ending unfolds is beyond any reporter's pen, but every viewer can still play a part. Pray if you pray, share a testimony if you have one. And remember, as Donnie reminded the congregation, that the God who held his father through revival, scandal, and restoration still holds tomorrow and everyone watching it unfold.